What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. Happy Juneteenth, my favorite holiday of the year. And I figured, you know what? Jay, he's just not going to cut it. We need someone more black on this stream today with me. I wasn't going to take Jay's white nonsense, so I brought on one of the blackest people I know, Vera Dark. What's up, Vera?
Not much. Just here is the diversity hire. But I know the real reason you wanted me to be on this stream today.
What is
You
that?
wanted us to celebrate our 5-year anniversary because today is 5 years of The Last of Us Part 2.
Did it really release
Yep.
5 years ago?
Yeah, today.
I didn't even know that.
You just wanted us to celebrate our anniversary. That's all.
Well, that couldn't possibly be the reason. I can guarantee that. But no, I didn't even know that. See, that
It was so fucking bad.
5 years ago was back before Juneteenth was a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't imagine why Last of Us would randomly release on Juneteenth. But yeah,
There was another game that had come out like 2 weeks before. I don't remember what it was. That game is probably fucking gay as well. And then they were like, okay, well, we need to push the release date back a couple weeks. So I guess they figured we might as well overshadow black people for Joel and 1.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Neil Druckmann, not surprising.
We need to cancel Neil Druckmann. You know, suddenly I'm for cancel culture.
Well, I'm more than willing to let Neil Druckmann talk and make as many bad video games as he wants at this point, because usually it's a good thing for me.
Well,
like,
I guess
personally.
that's true.
You know, I
We're
can't
compensated
wait
for the brain cells we lose.
Bro, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, please put out another trailer for that gets ratioed where you turn off the comments. I can't wait for that.
That game is going to be insane. Tati Gabrielle is so nutty.
She really is. She's a massive activist.
She is.
And
then Neil was like, yes, let's bring her. Let's get her for this stupid fucking game. We don't even want it to have a chance.
I feel like we probably actually missed the anniversary of whenever I became aware of you or you became aware of me, because reality was the backlash started like 4 months before. Or whatever, right?
Yeah. True.
When the leaks came out, when we were all getting struck and all that shit. Life was so much simpler then, to be honest.
Was it really, though?
It was, yeah. I feel like it was.
Yeah. I guess that was kind of like around the beginning of the end of the MCU when people still kind of had hope for it. And then, of course, we got fucking Joel and 1. Just terrible all around.
All right, Star Wars had just put a movie out in theaters. You know, Rise of Skywalker was only a couple months old at that point.
Bad memory. Can we please forget about that?
I can't.
I want to. It's terrible.
Hashtag never forget. I remember Rise of Skywalker well after I have like forgotten what happened during 9/11, to be honest.
Wow.
Almost as bad. For the Emperor. Remember for 29 months. Thank you. Madney for $5. Happy birthday, black people.
It's just such a simple statement, but it's so funny.
With like the white Egyptian, whatever
yep.
this is.
It's just, yep.
I've got, maybe. I have a black story for you guys. We had to do a black story. I searched far and wide to make sure we had a black story because I want to acknowledge the importance of Juneteenth to the 17 people out there who care about it. So maybe I'll put on the Egyptian headdress when we do that story.
Stunning and brave.
I'll have to think about it. I can't wear it the whole time, but it's too fucking hot. Thundarius, today's my birthday. On behalf of all Ginjas everywhere, thank you for celebrating my special day on a national level. Well, happy birthday, Thundarius. So many people have the day off during your birthday, which is crazy. Some people get a day off for Juneteenth now.
That's stupid. We'll just leave it
And I
there.
asked you to work on Juneteenth.
I know. How could you?
Disrespectful of me.
That really is.
I know you like to celebrate in private. But.
Yeah, I do.
Alex McCarthy for 2, no J Day, Thursday, Meta PC, code RK Outpost. You can use code RK Outpost or 199. Link is in the description below. Keenan, ever play the computer game Ski Free?
Never even heard of it.
Well, Vera hasn't played it. I definitely haven't played it. And then
Me, I'm just a fake gamer. What are you talking about?
But the real reason Vera's on today is because we need an actual gooning expert to talk about Stellar Blade. I know
That is my area of expertise, yes.
there were some attempts yesterday from whoever was on, probably. I didn't actually watch, but I'm sure there were some attempts. I know none of them have played the game in all likelihood, so I figured we needed an actual expert on Stellar Blade and all things female anatomy. So that's why Vera's here. What about Chip's Challenge? Ever heard of that?
Nope.
Wow, Keenan. Usually I'm the one that lets him down. He asks very random questions about shit. So.
Yeah. Never heard of either.
McFly for 2. Juneteenth is as legitimate as Kwanzaa. Oh, wait. Just celebrate Festivus, I think. I think that would be the way to go. We might as well talk about Stellar Blade a little bit. Vera, you have played Stellar Blade.
Played it 3 times now.
3 times. You played the modded version.
I played the base version when it initially came out. I played New Game Plus with the boss challenge when that came out. And then, yes, I did just get through the modded version. I even commissioned a mod.
What was the mod you commissioned?
It was a sexy construction worker.
Wow, getting the work done on Stellar Blade.
Asset inspector jokes.
Well, obviously it's been in the news a lot. Just released on Steam and on PC. It's been massively successful. Not just in general for a game launch, but by far kind of the biggest launch we've ever seen when it comes to these PlayStation ports. Almost 200,000 people playing it, which is absolutely wild. But one of the only things that people are talking about are the horny gamers. The horny gamers out there. It took Stellar Blade just 72 hours to sell 1 million copies on PC. And we all know why.
They're just seething over the fact that their stupid date everything game where you fuck tables and chairs and refrigerators hasn't made 1 million sales yet.
I know. And never in my life did I think I would need to search out Stellar Blade horny. But we had to find some of these journalists who are they are saying the only reason this game is successful is because it features a hot girl in skimpy clothes. Now, that's why I needed you here, Vera, because you've played the game 3 fucking times somehow. 3 fucking times you've played this game. And yeah, of course, attractive characters 100% can bring people in and draw people's attention. Will it keep them there throughout the entirety of the game and replayability and stuff? I have my doubts. What do you think?
No, I mean, obviously, sex appeal in media is a selling point. It's good for marketing material. There's a lot of people who do want to just play games with super attractive, sexy, feminine characters and hunky masculine men. And of course, first of all, that shouldn't be a big problem, but it is to these losers. But second of all, the game has more to offer than that. The combat is really fluid. The combat is solid. The level design, I like for the most part. There's a couple of areas that are kind of bizarre, but for the most part, that's really good. The boss fights are awesome. It's got one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in a video game. And sure, the story is kind of predictable, and the characters that are like going to betray you are pretty predictable. But at the same time, it does still have a solid story if you're actually paying attention. It feels like the brain dead take of, oh, the Souls games don't have a story. They do have a story. They have tons of lore. You just actually have to pay attention. But we know that these journalists don't actually play video games. And when they do, they're only playing games that push the narratives that they support. So they have made Stellar Blade a target for, well over a year now, simply because, oh, boo-hoo, the breasts are bothering us. Even though, again, they'll praise a game where you fuck a refrigerator.
Yeah, and you'll see articles by the same people who are saying it's kind of a bad thing that so many people are freaking out over this attractive character or this attractive character, or they're mesmerized by tits or whatever. However, you go in like their library of articles they've written, and they're sitting there simping over some other characters in those in different games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's like with the article that you just pulled up by Ethan Gotch, one of the two journos that are still left at Kotaku before they go out of business, he specifically went out of his way to find reviews that use the terms like gooner and that say, oh, I only, bought this game for gooner reasons, even though there's thousands upon thousands of reviews that don't mention that. But of course, he needs to push a certain narrative that, oh, all gamers are sexist pigs. And so he put up an article like this, which is not shocking for them, because if they didn't have low standards, they'd have no standards at all.
Well, I think it's funny because if you do want to make the argument, if you want to make the argument that the reason that this game's performing better than Dragon Age the Veilguard and Assassin's Creed Shadows and
well, that would be hard.
Like, all these other games, if you want to make the argument that the only reason it's successful is just because it has hot characters, well then holy shit, it's a pretty easy way to fix everything, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
If that's the only thing that you need to change, it's the only reason the game's successful, why the fuck do you keep making these ugly characters focus on trans scars or whatever the fuck? Man, fix it just like that.
Yeah, I think that what is so funny about that is you're correct. Like, if it was that simple, the gaming industry would not be facing the problems it's facing today. And sure, it's still making boatloads of money. I mean, the video game industry in 2024 brought in over $200 billion. Like, a lot of these companies are not struggling, but they would be making so much more money. Imagine if Dragon Age of Veilguard had made $1 billion like EA wanted. Imagine if all of these other slop titles like, I don't know, Unknown Nine Awakening and Kill the Justice League and Forspoken, if all of those did as good as they'd imagined, they'd be making $300 billion.
Yeah, and I think the reality is, obviously people do want to play as attractive characters. That's just in general, both men and women want to play as attractive characters. However, if it's just about that, for me, I can't imagine sitting there and playing a 25 hour game, however long it would take, just because I was looking at someone's hot backside when I can find that in a lot of other places they don't have to invest that time into. That might get people interested and make people take a chance, but the gameplay and the story is what keeps them there. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I see it. I think that's the most realistic way to look at it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And if this game was a massive failure in those aspects, there's no way that it would be selling as many copies as it is, especially a year after release.
Yeah, definitely. It's like with the first Descendant, that came out and it initially got a lot of attention because it has a lot of attractive characters. There were a lot of very revealing outfits, and they highlighted a lot of like ass jiggle in the trailers, and that's not a bad thing. But when you actually got to the game itself, I played a lot of it and I thought that it was fun, but it's not enough to keep me constantly playing it or keep me around. Like, sure, I would go back when they add a new character, or like I bought like one costume in the game and I would play when they put out like new raids. But first of all, the game itself has a lot of problems with the gameplay itself. It's fun, but like it could be a hell of a lot better. There's microtransaction issues, and when you pair that with the fact that they're not adding a lot of new content, that game has fallen off. Whereas something like Stellar Blade, which is a single player experience, it gives you, I think, like 40 costumes or 50 costumes initially, a lot of costumes, and it's got a lot of content. Like, that just goes to show that the game has way more to offer, because there's so many people who are either repurchasing it or going out of their way to buy it now and mod it because they're having so much fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, well, as of like probably an hour ago when I pulled this up, 130,000 people still playing it, almost 200,000 at peak, which is, again, a single player game that released over a year ago.
Yeah, in April of 2024.
And did really well. Performed really well for them. So to put that in perspective, things like, I don't know, God of War, when they finally came to Steam, that was like 50,000 people playing it, 55, 60,000, somewhere around there. Spider-Man Remastered, when they put that out, 60,000 people. Stellar Blade is...
I think The Last of Us 1 is only like 40.
Probably. Now, to be fair, that one was probably like 10 years after it initially released or something.
Yeah, but still, ultimately, you'd think that something that had as much hype as The Last of Us would have been able to garner more than, I don't know, 50 or 60K. But
did The Last of Us come out on Steam after The Last of Us Part 2 had already released?
I don't remember, but
Probably.
probably. And it's so sad to see The Last of Us kind of die because of the second game and the Abby smashing. But I mean, Stellar Blade's a brand new franchise. This is the first game in what will hopefully be a series. So seeing these numbers is even better because if you look at something like Dragon Age Veilguard, right? We had several releases before we got to that point, before we got to Veilguard. Stellar Blade, this is the first game. So, I mean, that success is even better for them.
Yeah, the Stellar Blade. They've been very upfront. They're trying to do a sequel. I don't know if we'll see it till like 2027 or 2028 or something. But yeah,
yeah. They said that they were hoping the end of 2026, but it seems like it's going to be probably like mid 2027, just given how long development times are. But hey, it just goes to show that you also don't need a fucking decade to make a slop game like Veilguard. That game makes me so mad. I don't know which I hate more, Veilguard or fucking The Last of Us Part 2.
well, Dragon Age is has a much bigger franchise and like many more entries and stuff.
Yeah, well, now
Whereas
it's
Last of
dead,
Us is just
so.
one game.
Yeah, that's true, but that one game was so fantastic. Either way, Kill the Justice League pissed me off way more than all of them, so it is what it is.
My favorite part about Dragon Age the Veilguard is Jason Schreier like tweeting out that bullshit about get woke, go top of the charts,
And then he deleted it.
deleting the tweet and then writing his what went wrong with Dragon Age the Veilguard story a year
But
after.
Jason, I thought nothing went wrong. It went to the top of the charts, man. He's
Yeah.
such a little bitch. I hate him. I've been
I hate
blocked by
him
that guy
too.
for like 6 years now.
Me too, and I don't think I ever responded to him
It
about
was
anything.
probably because of The Last of Us.
Probably is. I've been blocked by him for as long as I can remember, and I don't remember ever actually interacting with him.
Yeah, he went back and forth with me a lot, so I know why he blocked me.
Well, there you go. I don't fucking know. I just get caught up and people block me without ever even actually talking to me first. I get a lot of preemptive
You expect
block.
people to have adult conversations with you even if they oppose your stance on something?
Not really. I don't want to talk to them. Like, I just don't like it. Just if you block me, it just pisses me off. Like, why the fuck you block me, you little bitch? But
yeah.
I don't think I would ever retweet. Same thing happens with a lot of these people. A lot of these like weird Disney Star Wars fans and be preemptively blocked, as if I fucking like go and like I almost
You
never
do.
tweet
You
anything.
scroll the Raylo feeds. You love them. You look at their fan fiction every day. Don't even lie.
I don't look at their fan fiction. Are there even any
We know
Raylos
you
out there
do.
anymore?
It is what it is.
We're 5 years removed from that. Is there even any Raylos anymore?
Probably.
They're still waiting for the next movie, the Ray movie.
Yeah, there's hope. There's hope she's gonna have some like gay hollow recording of him like smooching the camera. They have to add fan service some way for the 5 people who still care about Star Wars.
I think she's pregnant. I think Kylo force
Stop
fucked her.
giving them ideas, please.
You know what I think? I think that she's gonna have twins. But here's the twist.
Oh, he doesn't read the fanfics, guys.
I don't know about the fanfics, but this is what I think. This is what I think they should do, Disney Star Wars fashion. That Kylo force fucked her when he brought her back to life, but that only multiplied an existing pregnancy that was already in there because she fucked Finn like right before they left. It was a deleted scene from Rise of Skywalker. She fucked Finn. She's gonna have twins, but one's gonna be black and one's gonna be white.
You know what? Sure, I'll buy a ticket. Why not?
Why not? Like, let's do it.
I mean, there's nothing they could do at this point that would turn Rey as a character unless she literally just killed herself. So, I don't know.
5-minute short film from Disney Star Wars. Rey
It's a mystery of somebody trying to figure out why she did it.
Bro, no, it's just an extended sequence. We start off right on Tatooine where it ended after she says Rey Skywalker, right? And then like the old lady's just like, oh, okay, and fucking like walks on, and she's like smiling at the suns, and then she suddenly gets like really sad, and she realizes her entire life is a lie and her dad's a Palpatine and this is really fucked up, and she just fucking chops her own head off with a
The
lightsaber.
worst part is that they would probably do something at the end of a movie like that. It's just that you'd only hear the lightsaber sound, but the screen would be black.
No, I want to see it. I want to see her yellow lightsaber blade go like right from like she just puts it right in here and ignites and it comes out the top of her skull.
You know, it'd be better content than everything they've made over the past like fucking decades. So why the hell not?
But then she'd survive.
Probably. I truly believed when those movies were coming out, it was going to be like the equivalent of Jason and Jania. I was delusional.
So was I. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like I even when they announced, hey, EU's decanonized, blah blah blah. I'm just like, well, we'll see. And I 100% were like, well, this might be a code name for this character. This is actually going to be Jason. I don't know who this Kylo Ren. That doesn't sound like a real fucking name. It's got to be different.
I remember all the backlash to his lightsaber and the fucking cross guards.
The cross guard.
Everyone was so pissed off about that. That's where we can determine that the toxic fandom started. There's probably some stupid article out there about that.
The thing that pissed me off the most was the first Force Awakens trailer, which I don't know if you remember. You were probably 4 years old when it came out. But the first Force Awakens trailer was like that first shot of Finn, like in the Stormtrooper thing. And they made it in this big, massive conversation about how racists are. They're upset that there's a black Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot of conversations from people about this doesn't make sense because those people are retarded and they're so dumb and delusional and know nothing about Star Wars that there were some people that genuinely thought that Stormtroopers were all clones still. Yeah. Right? That even in the OT, like all of them are still clones. Like there's some people that thought that and they're stupid and they're retarded. But that's why they were like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would a black guy, not because they were like, why the fuck is a black in my Star Wars? But it was because they didn't understand that they wouldn't be clones.
Yeah. So. Well, it is what it is. Star Wars is dead. We're probably never going to get good Star Wars content again. I don't even know what they could do at this point to turn it around.
They should just do what we suggested Ray does. Kill it.
Yeah. They'd probably make some money off that.
If they did nothing, I said this the other day when not the other day, I said it months ago when the conversation about Kathleen Kennedy, people defending Kathleen Kennedy as we all anticipate she's going to like eventually step down here.
The 30-second announcement of her stepping down.
Yeah. But continuing to produce things or whatever.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people that were defending it and all this shit by saying, look at what she's done. Look at what she's accomplished. To me, if Disney had bought Star Wars and done literally nothing with it for the past 13 years, Star Wars would be in a better place now.
They still wouldn't be beating George R.R. Martin, but...
Hey, that's true. but like, they have damaged the brand. They've damaged excitement for Star Wars.
If they had just let it rot, it would have been better.
Yeah, if they had done nothing with it, the franchise would be in a better place. So any way you look at it, you can't say that it's a successful tenure for Kathleen Kennedy. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Accident seller for 20 Norwegian dollars. Stellar Blade Eve. What are you doing, stepladder?
The best thing to come out of the Stellar Blade discussion are the memes and the jokes. Well, yeah, I guess, but it's so nice to see so many of these journos melting down over the fact that there are breasts in a video game. They claim that we hate women. I thought we were supposed to fucking boycott all products with women and we hated the female characters. What the hell happened? Why is this game selling so many copies? Doesn't make sense. I thought we were being sexist.
Well,
I was boycotting this personally.
So let me clear it up. We do hate women, but we will sexually objectify them for our own gratification, but we don't see them as people. I think that's the argument that would be out there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's just it's a shame, right, that we boycott so many titles, and that I can't even think of a single title that has been successful that has had a female lead. Can't even think of one. Not Tomb Raider or Nier Automata or the first Horizon game or Stellar Blade. Can't think of one.
Well, you hate Bayonetta, right?
Yeah, I hate Bayonetta. Absolutely. It'd be a shame if just an image of Bayonetta with her big gazungas was on screen right now. I'd hate that.
Well, I can't make that happen, unfortunately. Lord Vile for 2. You two make a cute couple. Thanks, Lord Vile. I assume that you sent that before you knew Vera was on today and you thought it was just me and Jay.
Definitely.
Jimmy Collins. Stellar Blade is $96 on Amazon right now.
How?
I wouldn't buy it there. Unless it's some weird like big bundle or something. But
it must be because you're looking at the multi-language one. Yeah. So that's why. It's the Asia one, but it can play on any system.
No, thank you. I don't like foreign shit. The smart review for 5. Hail Ryan. So I finally got my first 60 subscribers on YouTube. And thanks, guys. You inspired me to be a YouTuber. I want to ask, is Streamlabs okay to use? I use Streamlabs all the time. So yeah. I don't know if they have like a secret underground lair where they murder puppies or something. If you're asking about them, I've been using it for years.
It's like a decade ago when people thought that the IKEA cabinets were actually them selling kids because there was a one that was named like fucking Jerry or something. They're like, oh, if you buy this $30,000 cabinet, you're actually buying a child.
Maybe, but you have to assemble it yourself.
Yeah.
That would be the thing with IKEA. Are you an IKEA person?
God, no.
No? I forgot you're black today, so you wouldn't like IKEA. ENH W panel.
Chat's correcting me. It was a Wayfair.
Wayfair. Just
Even
what I
better.
need. ENH for 2. W panel minus the homosexuality.
True.
Thanks, Ian. Heroic Kitten. Don't forget how Jason Schreier claimed to know about the sexual harassment stuff at Blizzard for years, but waited to reveal it in his book. I called him out on that. He blocked me. The guy's a snake.
Yeah, I mean, trying to profit off of someone else's pain. Like, I get that I understand withholding information if there's like a court case going on or something, but he just had general information. And then instead of just releasing it, he waited, multiple years just to profit off of it. And he thought that that was okay. He genuinely didn't see a problem with that. Stupid.
Yeah, I thought that a lot of the stuff that came out was kind of like a little bit overblown.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it seemed exaggerated.
Yeah, a lot of it really did seem exaggerated and like...
And I'm sure that there was some truth to some of the claims because you really can't get that many people together to have one story without there being some shred of truth. But I agree. I feel like there were some cases that we heard about that were just completely over-exaggerated so that people could hopefully get paid more.
Yeah, and like the whole Cosby Room thing...
Yeah.
To me, it was like fucking nothing. The idea, I can't believe that a company that's made up of like 95% like dude bros just out of college, I can't believe that they might make some sexual jokes. Oh, who would have fucking thought? It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Pirate of Las Vegas for 5. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear both of you are streaming from different rooms in the same house.
Conspiracy theory.
Why do the rooms look similar at all?
They really don't. I
don't
guess
think
you
so.
have a shelf. I have a shelf. Close enough. You have a chair. I have a chair.
You have a Switch 2 box, which... God, I
have all 3 of my Switches right in front of me.
I could not imagine being that fucking gay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have 3 Switches in front of you now?
Yeah, I do. They're all lined up. I have them from the largest to the middle to the small. I have it so it looks like a slope.
God. But no, we're not in the same room.
Wait. Side comment.
Sidebar.
I'm getting a Switch Lite soon, so I'll have all 4 models.
For no reason, just
Yeah.
wasting money.
Yeah, I want the Hyrule one. So I want one of each Switch model.
Isn't that going to be really expensive though? That one's like fancy,
it's like $300.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they still have them in stock in the Netherlands.
You're never going to use it.
No, I'm never taking it out of the box. I just want one so I have a full collection.
Must be nice. Recklessly spend money like it's like you're going to die.
Well, not right now. Eventually, I'm going to get one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
I just got the Switch 2. I'm not buying another Switch yet, but like in a year, when it's going to be 4 more years until the next Switch, I'm going to need to get my fix somehow.
Jesus.
To buy the Switch.
Infamous. If Juneteenth was a carnival, what would the rides be? It would have to be whatever ride that no one gives a fuck about. Like that is the thing that would be the ride at a Juneteenth carnival.
I mean, for the 2 people that would go out of the 5 people that celebrate.
It definitely wouldn't be the little dragon coaster. Those things are awesome. It definitely wouldn't be like the house where you walk through the mirror and then you walk up and you've got like moving things and then you got one of those spinning things as you're coming out. It definitely wouldn't be that because that's cool. And I care about that one. I don't know, one of those dumb like things where you sit there and you twist it to spin
like
as
the
a thing
cup?
spins. Yeah, fuck those things. Those are dumb.
Yeah, those are stupid.
Yeah, that'd be the Juneteenth one. We do have a small story for Juneteenth. Let me catch up over on Rumble and then we'll get to it. B Barrett says for $2 on Rumble, hail Geeks and Game Hers.
Stunning and brave.
There you go. Gamer Crusader. Have the Blacks even said thank you once? Vance face. Thank you. D Smart, Ryan, I wanted to ask in the beginning of your YouTube career, what helped to boost your channel? What mistakes that people do when trying to start a new channel? All this is still new to me.
What boosted his channel was Neil Cuckman, The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I would say what boosts your channel. Look, you never know when something's going to take off, when a topic like that is going to take off. That's what happened for Last of Us 2. But I would just say try to stay consistent, try to keep pumping videos out, stuff that you do care about. And eventually, hopefully, you keep working. And one of those things, by the luck of the YouTube algorithm, will pop off. And if it does, and YouTube tells you a lot of people are interested in that, not to say stop doing anything else, but hey, if people like that content, make sure you do something else along that vein and keep providing it. So that's what I do.
Yeah, definitely.
But even in those times where it is like hot and like Last of Us is crazy, one of the things I wanted to make sure to do that I still do now is, okay, if Snow White is a fucking hot topic, and it obviously is, okay, I'm going to make stuff on Snow White, maybe even one every day. But I'm also going to put like 2 other videos out there about Marvel or Star Wars or whatever, so that all the people that maybe originally subscribed to the channel, or whatever, they're still getting the stuff that they would expect to.
Yeah, you don't want to flood your channel with the same topic for like weeks on end, because
If
you
you're
do want to
just
like
doing that,
yeah, you do want other people to also get content that they would want to consume. Because if like they don't want to see Rachel Zegler's ugly face 4 times a day, well, then they're not going to watch any of your videos that day.
I'm only going to give you Rachel Zegler's face 1 time a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I approach it, I guess. Switzerland Play It. Ryan, why did you not read my last rant? Also, Vera, nude Vera skin mod for Stellar Blade win.
Approximately never.
Your last rant, I don't see your last rant, Switzerland Play It. I just see you rated the stream over on Rumble. Thank you. But I don't see your last rant. If I see it, I read it. So that's my bad if I missed it. Derek PG Beller, the left. Sexy women in games and TV movies is bad because of the male gaze. Also the left. Sex work is great and should be respected.
Yeah, it's kind of conflicting. But then again, you have people who want to fuck a bear in a video game, but won't let you look at tits in a game. So I don't know. You can't really expect consistency with them.
What if the bear had massive tits?
Well, I mean, the bear had a dick, so that's all we know. Did not have massive tits, so it's just not part of the equation.
Mighty Megatron for 2. If Juneteenth was a carnival ride, it would be called More Than 3, Time to Flee. Thanks. Mighty Megatron for 2. If Juneteenth was a carnival ride, it would be called Way to Cotton. Pick and Minute. Thank you for that. See, if I see them, I will read them, at least if I think I can.
And you get canceled.
Yes. But speaking of Juneteenth, we needed a black story today. So I felt, what better black story than someone who, as we know, is leading one of the great black franchises in history. And that, of course, is James Bond. Everybody knows that James Bond is one of the greatest black franchise in history. How could he not be? Survived for decades and decades and decades. Well, he's actually a white guy. He's a white guy in the books. He's been a white guy consistently. However, there's been a conversation for the past decade about making James Bond black, because wouldn't that be cool? Well, according to a recent report, it's exactly what Amazon wants to do. Aaron Pierre is being considered for the role of James Bond in the next 007 movie. Vera, you're a girl, so I assume you don't care about James Bond.
I like James Bond, for sure.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I do. Oh, chat's going to be like fake, fake, fake. I do like James Bond. I don't know how to feel about this, though. I feel like he's too much of a pretty boy. He doesn't have that, like, rogue, suave feeling. And I've never seen him in anything, right? We're going to see him in the Lanterns show. It's a show now, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see him in that eventually. And maybe he'll wow me. And I don't think that race swaps are as bad as gender swaps. Because for race swaps, you can have a actor who can embody the character, who figures out all of their mannerisms and can play them really well, and they can have that on-screen presence. But with gender swaps, you have to change the essence of the character, like Liet Kynes in Dune. You have to change everything about that fucking character in order to gender swap. But that doesn't mean that race swaps are good. That still doesn't mean that I support every one of them. Again, if he is a great actor, maybe he can at least do a decent job and it will be watchable, but he definitely wouldn't be my first pick.
Now, I see no reason. Look, James Bond is one of the few franchises we have left that, despite the mistakes that they've made, the missteps in the past decade and the end of the Daniel Craig era, and it leaving kind of a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, despite all of that, it has still not been modern day Hollywoodized in terms of just turning it into this churn for fucking content. Yeah. Like this puppy mill of content, like we've seen them try to do with basically every other IP for streaming or whatever. James Bond, to me, should remain white. He's a white man. Yeah. That's who he is. And
that's how he was described.
It's how he was described in the book. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to be a white hero. And look, we saw the same people that are clapping about the possibility of this, the same people that have been pushing for James Bond to be black for forever. We just saw them have a little freak out meltdown over them having a white Black Panther.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to be upset if Marvel was about to make Black Panther white. If they actually went out and cast Ryan Gosling, memes aside, laughing at people aside.
That'd be fucking ridiculous.
It would be stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I think exactly the same thing about this. I think exactly the same thing about Aaron Pierre. You know what? I think he's going to be a great Jon Stewart. You know why? Because he looks like fucking Jon Stewart. And it feels like he could potentially embody that character. And I think that that's awesome.
I feel he's not masculine enough for James Bond. I mean, he's not a Dalton. He's not a Brosnan. He's not a Connery. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's a great actor and I'll absolutely love him in Lanterns and say, holy shit, get this guy in everything. He just doesn't strike me as James Bond in any way whatsoever.
Well, look, Amazon paid an extra $1 billion to make Barbara Broccoli and everybody else fuck off and have full control over this character.
Amazon's stupid. Amazon ruins everything they fucking touch, and I do not trust them. That's another major problem. They would turn James Bond gay in a flash. And, well, not trying to be mean to this actor, but Aaron kind of looks gay. So I will see. He kind of strikes me as a gay man. So if this casting is true, we are cooked.
Yeah. If you want to do an awesome, secret agent show, like, go for it. Create your own thing, man. If you're like, we really need to see black representation in British secret agent shows,
make something else that's similar to James Bond.
Yeah.
It's like what Ana de Armas had said. Oh, we don't need James Bond to be gender swapped. We just need a character that is similar to James Bond that happens to be a female. That's perfectly fucking fine. There's absolutely no problem with creating new franchises or even spin-offs that are supposed to be similar. But the problem arises when you're replacing major characters like James Bond himself.
Yeah. And that's why they wouldn't do that, right? They want to be able to use the name of James Bond to get the attention. If it's, I don't know, what is a black British person's name? I wouldn't even know. I know like Jamal Smith or something here in America. What is a black British person's name? Aaron Pierre, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, if you want to make that show, it's not going to have eyes on it. So they don't want to waste their time with it.
Yeah, well, and another major issue is that we see James Bond getting modernized with the new game that's coming out. They have a 26-year-old James Bond. We have a race-swapped Moneypenny. There's a bunch of characters that are race-swapped and gender-swapped. And they've said that they are recreating it for the modern audience, that they are modernizing it. So if we're already seeing James Bond being modernized in the games, why the fuck would we expect anything different from a show or a movie? That's clearly the direction that they've wanted to go in for years at this point, and that sucks, especially with this new game, because I can understand having a game where you have a younger James Bond if it's a trilogy and eventually he becomes the James Bond that we all know and that we've all loved. But it's a standalone. So it's only going to be this 26-year-old running around blowing shit up, maybe fucking women. That's it. That just doesn't strike me as James Bond. It looks like Uncharted.
It looks like Uncharted meets Hitman.
Yep.
The trailer doesn't, other than the 5 seconds of him getting a Q gadget and fucking with it and like something going wrong, that was the only thing that screamed Bond to me the entire thing.
100%.
I don't mind the way the guy looks, and I know there's a lot of like controversy about that. Fine, whatever. To me, it was the trailer itself didn't scream to me that this feels like James Bond at all.
No, and another problem is that this was from an interview yesterday or the day before. One of the writers had basically said they were trying to make him feel like Batman. But that's not James Bond. So it's like, are you like aware of what James Bond is at all whatsoever? So I'm not sure. They're trying to make it sound though like, oh my gosh, we're completely changing everything about this character, and if you like Batman, you're gonna like him. Like, okay.
I don't even know how to react to that.
Let me see if I can find the quote really quickly.
Yeah. God.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, here you go. I'll send it to you. This is so fucking stupid. This is so stupid. This is the first IP we're working on that's not our own. So I think for us, it needed to be with a nerve. We needed to not be doing Robin, but doing Batman. They're like trying to compare it to Batman. I don't know what they're thinking.
Let's see. Pull this up from Roll.
But whether it's Bond or Batman, part of the origin story has to deal with learning the ropes, which is going to lead to missteps, especially in the harsh world of global espionage.
007 First Light ditches franchise lore for a whole new James Bond.
That's exactly what we want to hear. I love that.
And that's what I mean. It's when that is your fucking headline, I don't think most people view that as a good thing. I think most people want to get back to basics when it comes to James Bond in the video games and in the movies. I personally would not be opposed at all to turning James Bond into a period piece like franchise. Because I don't know if it works as well. I don't know if the secret agent, super spies, I don't know if this stuff works as well in 2025 with technology the way it is with all this stuff as it does in the 60s, right? in like the Cold War era, like type of feel where gadgets are hidden within normal things. And do you know what I mean? Because now anybody with a fucking cell phone can just like stick it on a wall and hack into some mainframe. Like everyone's got facial recognition cameras, so it doesn't really make like all of that stuff. I feel like really weakens what you can do with the character of Bond as opposed to a 60s period piece.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It just makes everything super easy, I think.
Yeah. Even like pretty much as soon as you have cell phones, I feel like you're going to start having problems with like the story being as effective as it can from like that type of old school spy movie.
Yeah, I think that if you set a James Bond film or game or whatever in the modern day, it loses so much of its style, which is such a big problem because that's, I don't want to say all James Bond is about, but a major point of James Bond and kind of the aesthetics is the cool guns and the cars and the suits. And it has a very different feeling. And unfortunately, I can't think of one modern franchise or product that is set in modern times that has that type of style. So,
yeah,
bad.
Not any franchises right now.
No.
Joey for $50. I agree with Vera on race swapping.
No.
It isn't as bad as gender swapping. Bit of a controversial example. This would be Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. I know, terrible movie, but Michael was good in the role.
I mean, the number one example I would probably give is in the Batman with Gordon. I think that actor is phenomenal, and I think that he did a pretty good job, and he embodied the character. So I didn't mind it.
I think
Now,
that
I still
Catwoman-
don't want them to go out of their way and race swap. I'd much rather them actually stick to the fucking source material. But of course, we know how Hollywood is. Another just major issue is that there's not a lot of good actors these days. So that adds another layer of complexity.
Except they're all the good ones are black, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, like Jeffrey Wright, that's who played Gordon in Batman, right? I do think he's a great actor. However, I don't think he gave. I went famous for a Batman review not that long ago. I suppose that was 3 years removed by now. But I don't feel like he gave a performance worthy of them being like, oh, he has to be Gordon.
Oh no, he
It's
didn't
like he
give
just walked around and he just kept calling Batman man.
Yeah, he didn't give like a jaw-dropping performance. He didn't do so amazing that I'm like, "Oh my god, this is my fucking Gordon." Right?
Yeah.
This is insane. But he did good enough to the point where I'd be like, "Of course I'd want him back in the next movie." I wouldn't want them to like recast him because he's just so awful. Like I would want to see the direction they go with his Gordon, but we're fucking never getting to Batman 2 at this point. So fucking retarded. How many years is it going to be? Just make the goddamn movie.
Just give him some time, James Gunn says. Give him some time.
The Penguin was literally supposed to be, it was supposed to be the Batman 2, the next year Penguin, the year after that Batman 2. That was the filler content.
I think, to be honest, I think they're waiting to see how Superman does.
Yeah.
I know they're saying Matt Reeves hasn't written it. He's patient, give him time. I think that if Superman does well, there's a really good chance that we just never hear of Batman 2 again. And they move on with their Batman. That's what I think.
Maybe. I think, though, that it's got such a, like, almost like a cult following at this point because there's so many people who want that movie that it would be hard for them to get away from it. And they also have more TV show spinoffs in the works, don't they?
I don't fucking... For the Batman?
Yeah.
They were originally supposed to do that Gotham Gotham police show.
I don't care what anybody says. The original Gotham show was good.
The whole thing?
Yeah. Well, the last 2 seasons were real crazy, but besides like the gay Penguin and Riddler thing, which was insane, the rest of the show was good.
So, but I hate little Bruce Wayne. I fucking hate that stupid kid. He sucked and was dumb.
That actor is so good.
He sucked as Bruce Wayne.
He did so good as Bruce Wayne.
Alfred.
What are you talking about? We only saw 3 shots of him as Batman.
Yeah, he was just a whiny little fucking kid.
Yeah, because he was a young fucking billionaire.
Yeah, I don't need to see I don't need to see that version of Bruce Wayne for
They
5
should
seasons.
they should bring him back. They should do a video game with them. But what's even the point of Batman? James Gordon already took down literally everyone. Yeah. We might as well call him Batman.
One of my problems with that series is from like in the pilot episode, James Gordon interacts with like 5 of the most notorious fucking like Batman villains in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, he does. That's true.
It's like, come on, like what are we doing? I do think there were some things I liked in Gotham. You know, I followed it for years while it was airing. I didn't love it. It went on for too long. It got really fucking wacky, and it was just. But
so many of those actors were so well cast. Sorry, I'm not a complete Gotham hater. I know James Gordon was the Batman in that, but
he was. It was. He fucking did.
They were all obsessed with him.
He's like a war hero, and every villain was out to kill Jim Gordon.
They were obsessed with him because of his moral compass and how he was so unyielding.
Yeah,
it's good.
He was basically like fucking Jon Snow. At least Jon Snow in the series. All right, where am I? GraphWeb for 2. For fuck's sake, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Thanks, GraphWeb. Jester of Roanoke. I have a very Ryan way of looking at pop culture these days. Likely I'll be long dead before good Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, or Doctor Who's made again.
I don't think it's ever going to be made again.
So you probably will be dead.
Yeah.
Over on Locals, Grabthar's Hammer with a $10 tip says, isn't business being closed and people not working on Juneteenth a little on the nose? Have a Colt 45 on me. Thank you. And then he shares in Locals chat for $5, says, Vera from 7 years ago, and shares a screenshot of you from a video that says 1,000 subscriber celebration, my backstory.
Nice. Yeah. I've been doing YouTube a long time.
There you go.
Yeah,
from 7 years ago.
Yep. True and real when Jason Schreier was out to get me banned off the internet. He had beef with a 19-year-old.
Bro, Jason Schreier. You're lucky that's all he wanted, probably. Master Austin with a gifted membership. Thanks, Master Austin. Mandalore for 20. In an alternate universe, KK is an egotistical moron. Finn and Rey are Jedi. Both learned under Luke in the Jedi text. They trained new Jedi in the movie in 2023. And a new Jedi Order movie is releasing winter 2025.
Yeah. That's assuming that Kathleen Kennedy in another universe could be any different.
She's the exact
I feel
same.
like, yeah, she's just a copy and paste in every one of them. I can't imagine her being a genuinely good person who actually gives a fuck about the franchises she's working on, so.
I think she does care about Indiana Jones. I think she cared about that way more than she ever cared about Star Wars because she actually worked on Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Not like
and that was still bad.
Not in the way that people would make believe that she was crucial to success, but she did work on the Indiana Jones franchise, as opposed to Star Wars. Raven Black Sparrow plays. The ride will be relooting. That's a game. Can't wait for that.
That game looks insane. I saw that the Access Media was already starting to put out their pieces on it. Oh my gosh. It's a new, fresh take on an old idea. It's going to be so cool.
It is an old idea. One that people are a little tired of. Sir Hat for 2. Fuck you, Ryan. Teacup ride for life. I hate that shit.
I don't like it either.
Grizzly Nightmare for 199. Ryan, have you ever had pizza from Casey's in the Midwest? I have had pizza from Casey's before. It's solid. I like Casey's. I don't think it's anything like, oh my God, you got to have Casey's like some people do, but I think it's good. Speaking of pizza, Vera, Fantastic Four, they are all in right now on the marketing for this movie.
They are, which I guess shows that they're confident in it or maybe desperate.
Confident, desperate, whichever. Look, they are getting the name out there. So speaking of pizza, we can just start right here. Little Caesars launches new pizza inspired by the upcoming Fantastic Four movie.
It doesn't have ham and pineapple.
Thank God. That's the only reason I'm considering getting it.
Damn. Also, I can hear myself. I don't know if that's on the stream.
Oh, it might be. Here, let me do this.
I thought
it's
it was
bad
me
enough
for a minute.
listening to one of you. I can't imagine listening to two.
Yeah. It needs ham and pineapple.
No,
or bacon and pineapple.
No fucking way. We've got pepperoni, cheese,
basic,
bacon and sausage, pepperoni and jalapeno, ham and pineapple. Nobody wants that. They wouldn't sell a fucking single one.
I think they would.
But they are all out for the marketing on this shit. Here's the Galactus bucket, which is $80, by the way.
I'm not buying that shit. It's cool. I'm not spending $80 on a fucking popcorn bucket.
I'm not buying this either. I mean, look, I might have to get that pizza just because it intrigues me.
But it's just a pizza.
I know it's just a pizza. But
so what's special about it? You could literally just order that same pizza right now.
It's because I haven't been to Little Caesars in a while. And there's one right across the street. And now this has me wanting to go there just to get this as an excuse.
Yeah.
Pepperoni jalapeno dipped in ranch. You ever had that?
Not dipped in ranch.
Ooh, you gotta do it.
It's probably good though.
But we've got the Galactus popcorn bucket. We've got the Fantastic Four popcorn bucket where this looks a little strange with the angle. It's tough to know from this angle what Reed Richards is stretching. But it's his hand, okay? Calm down, everybody.
The phrasing is phenomenal. Yep.
It's his hand. This doesn't even look like Pedro Pascal.
No.
This looks more like Cassian Andor than Pedro Pascal.
Kind of, actually. Yeah, not wrong.
But they got Nikes. They got Fantastic Four Nikes out there. Not gonna lie, those look like I would have worn them in high school. No joke. They got fantastic berry flavored milk. Do you try that?
No.
This person just went to a next level. I need to drink invisible woman milk straight from the jugs. But look, they're going all out with this thing. When you look at all these different popcorn buckets, some of which we saw individually, all the different marketing stuff, they are all in. And I mean, not surprisingly, we knew this, but now Kevin Feige is saying, hey, just so you guys know, Fantastic Four leads directly into the events of Doomsday. Did you guys know that? I hope you know that you have to watch this movie in order to be ready for Avengers Doomsday.
Too many things to catch up on, and that's such a big problem with the MCU right now, because initially when the MCU started, they were trying to get away from like the comic book format of you needed to read 50,000 comics to understand what was going on. And now, because there's so many different movies and TV shows and there were so many timelines, everyone's confused. So now basically it's the equivalent of being a comic reader. You can't just go to the movies and casually see one of the MCU films. So you might as well just read the comics because they're significantly better.
Yeah, I mean, they just released the What to Watch Before Ironheart.
Yeah.
And it's Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, Wakanda or Black Panther, and Wakanda Forever, and the What If series.
Yeah.
They're saying that's what you need to watch before Ironheart.
That's insane. Ay.
Which is nuts. But look, they have bet a lot on this movie. Pedro Pascal was not their first choice to play this character, Mr. Fantastic, but he's going to be a huge part to play. They also just announced a fourth Marvel movie is going to release in 2028.
Whew.
So for all their talk about, scaling back, focus on quality over quantity, never put out more than 2 or 3 movies a year. Now we've got another movie, and a lot of people are speculating that could be a Fantastic Four sequel, potentially.
Marvel would never lie to us. Are you accusing them of lying about their schedule? They would never.
They would never, ever.
Never.
But like they're going all out for it, and understandably so, because this movie has to be a success.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of other ways that they led up, right? Where people were invested in this story, invested in this character, and then it all led up to a really cool culmination event that people enjoyed. Instead, they're trying to get us to do the opposite, right? Nobody cares about any of these fucking characters that are going to be in Doomsday. They don't care about Black Captain America. They don't care about the Thunderbolts or New Avengers. Those movies flopped historically bad for them. We don't know whether we'll care about Fantastic Four, but they're selling you on the idea of the big team up for Doomsday, of which they've done no build up to. They're selling you to that to get you to go to this. And I don't know if it's going to work.
I don't think that it's going to work. I'm sure that this movie is going to inevitably make some money because there are so many people who are just willing to shut up and consume product. But I don't think that this is going to make the amount of money that they would ultimately need. I don't see this making $500 million. I don't see this making $1 billion. I feel like, sure, they have a little bit of name recognition with some of these actors. They might be able to get some of the younger kids. Well, I guess they were young 30 years ago when Stranger Things was coming out. They might be able to get some of those kids interested because of stupid Joseph Quinn and his performance in Stranger Things. That was terrible. Vanessa Kirby's an established actress. She's good. And then Pedro Pascal is like Hollywood's little bitch right now. But I just don't see this making $1 billion for them.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think they think so. And obviously, big war against DC in the summer. They're going to be going up against Superman as well. Who knows what that'll do? But
I'm mildly excited for Superman. It's just such a different feeling than the other movies. That's why I'm so skeptical still. I hope it comes out and it's good, but
I would love to get a great Superman movie. I feel very meh about it right now.
Yeah, there's some cool shots. I just don't know if a couple of cool shots is going to equal a good movie when they're actually in the movie. I think that the problem that I'm seeing with the teasers and trailers is it feels very artsy-fartsy. It feels like, oh my god, we did all this cool technology and all these cool cinematic shots. Yeah, but how's the story?
Right. It also had the same cinematographer as The Flash. Which we saw how that looked, you know.
Yeah.
It is the same cinematographer. And some of the shots look a little wonky and look similar to some shots that we saw in that. So I don't know, but.
Yeah, that's true.
Big summer, big July for Marvel and DC. See what happens. They really want me to drink a Diet Coke, apparently, over there on the side.
Why?
I don't know. They got an ad for Diet Coke. The break you've been waiting for. Diet Coke.
Diet Coke is pretty meh.
I'm a Coke Zero person.
Oh, personally. Yeah. Coke Zero is better.
Coke Zero's the way.
Man.
We got a $50 super chat from Roland the Wretched. Happy Thraldom Thursday, Ryan. Do you have a line you won't cross on streams? It is more than a generalization, or there's certain subjects you won't touch. For a bigoted misogynist, you sure have a lot of women on your streams. Hi, Vera.
Hello. Yeah,
I'm
just the DEI hire.
She is. Usually because she's a woman, sometimes because she's a fake ginger, and sometimes, like today, because she's black.
Yep, that is true. Multi-purpose.
Like, for most things, for most reading super chats, I'm usually fine with it. Every once in a while, there'll be something like, I do not want a clip of me saying that out. Like, regardless of whether it's a super chat or not.
Yeah.
I reserve the right. I am usually a dancing monkey, but there are some things I won't dance for. Jack Allen for 5. Working on a Ryan Kindle Stellar Blade mod. The forehead design is slowing it down. Too much data to code.
Sounds like cancer, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people are going to want to play that. It's just my guess. The Singing Tigs for 2. Ryan, has Vera let you on her red carpet yet? Hail. I don't even understand the reference.
You haven't been on the internet long enough, I guess.
Never.
How can you not understand it?
I thought it was. I thought they were talking about a movie premiere or something. I don't know.
No.
Oh. Mike Zero's source for 5. Just wait, Amazon will have Jane Bond starring Zendaya.
No.
Kingdom Hearts Gamer. They made Albert Wesker black, and look what happened.
He was a good actor, though.
I think that I'm opposed to it. However, I do think that there are stages of what it matters.
I mean, Lance Reddick was the only fucking good part of that movie.
If you, for instance, if you race swap Moneypenny, I'm probably going to have something to say about it. If then Black Moneypenny in the movie is constantly talking about being a victim of this, or she didn't get this chance or whatever, I'm going to talk about it more. But there's a difference between race swapping a side character and race swapping the main character.
Yeah.
Right? There always will be to me.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Aaron Pierre is British Jesse Smollett. Gay.
He looks gay. I don't know what it is about him. It's just, as a straight woman, I'd be like, that's a fucking gay man.
You want to know something really funny? I usually do not use like Grok AI generation stuff typically.
Oh, here comes the cancer.
I want to see if I can find. Can I like go through I can't go through my history like with this.
We don't want to see all your Rachel Zegler images. We're good.
No, so I asked it. I was trying to create a thumbnail for a gay dude. I wanted like a gay dude in a thumbnail. I think it was about a sports video I made because Clayton Kershaw was wearing a Bible verse on his rainbow pride hat, and a lot of the gays were mad. So I was like, Brock, generate an image of a very gay man. Right, that's it. It spit it out, and they were both black. Like, I don't like. They were just black guys. I don't understand.
Wild.
Yes. Just two black guys wearing slightly colorful clothes. That's what Grok's version of a very gay man is. So I don't know.
Oh, it is what it is.
Wolfsbane. John Wick has the guns and suits, but no gadgets. He's also not like a spy. He's he's fucking getting into shooting matches everywhere. Like,
yeah, no, he's not like a spy.
Jacob Joseph for 5. The only successful race swap was Peter Lupus replaced by O.J. Simpson in Nordberg and the Naked Gun. UK Outlaw, which means he carries around spoons with him anywhere he goes because he's just like that. Doesn't listen to those rules. Gives 5 memberships. Thank you, UK Outlaw. Joey for 5. Best thing about Gotham was Cameron Monaghan is the Joker.
He was really good. He's a good actor. I'd liked him in the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor games, too.
White Rose Republic for £2. A View to a Kill, best Bond theme tune. I'm very partial to Live and Let Die because it's Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very partial to that. Just in general. Kalecki, Tabitha was hot in Gotham. Trevor Rich, Ryan, no live stream last night. No, I was busy last night, unfortunately, so I could not live stream. Which is why I wasn't on Mario Kart as well. Thomas Whitted, Thomas the Terrible. How won the soup cereal debate?
My stance hasn't changed, so.
Well, that's what a loser would say. But you can just go look. It's on Geeks and Gamers clips. Go through the comments and see what people think.
You gotta tally them up.
You gotta tally them up. Let's see. A normie woman like Gotham series. Shocker.
I don't know if I could be considered a normie. To be
you
fair,
are a fucking basic bitch normie.
Am I though?
Pretty much with your 4 Nintendo Switches.
I only have 3 right now, but I will have 4.
UK Outlaw for £20. Ryan, I never laughed so much as when you detailed your Uber experience, complete with role play with Jay. Also, giving up on Marvel and Disney Star Wars for good, but we'll give James Gunn's Superman a chance.
Yeah.
Infamous Little Caesar's bread, greater than Little Caesar's pizza. You're not wrong, sir. The crazy bread is awesome. Vlad the Man, Haro Ray, and Redhead. You like red? Sometimes. Black Cane, Ryan and Vera under a tree. Lyncching. Wow. Thank you. Black
Stunning
King.
and brave.
Jackson Cagle says, hail chat. Hello. Storm Shadow is ice cream a cold soup?
What?
Is ice cream a cold soup?
How? Ice cream is, it's not a, well, I guess it turns into a liquid. Are you talking about in the melted state? I need specifics before I can complete my thoughts on this debate.
Paper Liger for 5. Bob Iger just walks out and says quality over quantity annually while he's changing nothing. You're very right. Joey, last good James Bond was Pierce Brosnan. Hope the new game's at least decent.
He was such a fucking good James Bond.
He was great.
Yeah.
I think it was the right move after Dalton because I love Dalton, but I think
I do too. I've always been such a Dalton simp.
I think it was ahead of its time. I think that going from the really kind of over the top cheesiest or cheesy nature of Roger Moore to Dalton was like, and the darkness of those movies was too big of a change for people.
Yeah.
And I think with Brosnan, they brought it back a little bit, brought in back some of the little more goofier stuff, not to the same level as Moore, but it was a balance between those. But I love Timothy Dalton's movies. Yeah. Is Pixar's Turning Red about Vera's carpet? Jesus, Steve's
You guys are so unoriginal.
It's true. Hey, Vera, does the carpet match the drapes? Have you ever heard that
it's one? Like, you can't come up with anything better. Really?
Well, I just like
what
that
are you
I
fucking
can get
8 and you've just got on Xbox Live for the first time? Jesus.
It's nice that instead of you getting the super chats there, you get to answer them here on this channel. The ones you get every single day for yours. Mighty Megatron for I'm still waiting on Disney to see Black Tarzan. I can see him now. Swinging from trees, eating a banana. Well, I don't know if they're going to do Black Tarzan.
Probably not. That's where they decided, you know what, we're not doing any more live action remakes.
Nader's Bricks for 2. If Amazon wants to race swap Bond, just go all out. Make it a black gay woman named Jasmine Bond. Snacks. M is pissed because Bond said he was going to pick up some milk and cigarettes after a mission and never came back to MI6. That could be the case. That could be the case. But with all that, we're all caught up. Before we have any more jokes about Vera's pubic hair, probably, in all likelihood. But Vera, thank you for coming on with me.
That is the internet, so.
It is the internet. Thank you for coming on with me today.
Of course.
Not as short notice as it's been before, but Jay's always bailing on me for this shit.
Pretty gay, to be honest.
It is pretty gay. And I do, apparently I owe you a Big Mac. So that's the going rate for an hour of Vera's time.
Yeah. It is true. Yep, that is the going rate now for my appearances. We're up from a dime and we're going to a Big Mac, which is basically a fucking mortgage at this point. It's a down payment on a house with how expensive Big Macs are.
Do you get them often? Is that what you know?
No, I know that they're like $8. That's so stupid.
Just for the meal or for the sandwich?
I think for the sandwich.
I don't know. That can't be right. I can't be paying $8 for a Big Mac. Maybe
is a Big Mac? Let's Google. A Big Mac is $6.29. Fucking close enough. That's crazy.
That's a little over $5. You won't remember this because you're too young, but back in my day, the double cheeseburger, just a straight up double cheeseburger, was on the dollar menu. Wow. Now they're like $3.
It must have been like 30 years ago.
Now they're like, yes. Now they're like $3.29 or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's bullshit. Graham Robbins for 10. Random trolling comment making fun of Vera wearing glasses to take away from the hair comments.
What's wrong with my glasses? Jeez.
We don't have time to get into that.
Okay.
But again, Vera, where can people find you and what do you talk about?
You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on X. You can find me on tons of social platforms. Vera Dark Titan Media on YouTube. I also have a Vera Dark review channel where I'm clipping my live stream reviews and putting up collection videos. Get to show off my 3 Switches. always talking about something, culture war. I've been talking a lot about Stellar Blade lately. I'll be talking about James Bond today. And yeah, I live stream like 4 or 5 times a week. And right now I'm getting through Liza P and finishing up Night Rain until next week when Walking Simulator 2 releases.
Yeah, Vera plays like 4 games at a time, basically.
I do. I just finished Stellar Blade. Now I have to play Liza P to get to the DLC. I have that Date Everything refrigerator game somebody gifted me, so I have to download that and stream that once and then cry. And I have to finish Night Rain.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you for coming on. Go check out her channel. Me and Jay will be back at it tomorrow. At least I think. I don't actually know what he's doing. So maybe he'll be back tomorrow. Maybe he won't. Maybe it'll just be me the entire time. You never know. But thank you, Vera. Thank you, chat. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.